Cool. Well, thank you to everybody who's joined so far. We're going to get started. We really appreciate your time today. As you kind of would have seen from the emails from myself and Godwin, we're really excited to talk to you guys today about what life is like studying in Canada and how you can best improve your chances to get here and to save some money along the way. I'd like to thank Godwin, obviously, for introducing us to everyone here. We really have appreciated the beginning of this partnership and working with Godwin to help more students study in Canada. And I'd like to also thank Matthew for his time today. He's the CEO and founder of Halp. It's kind of the reason we've been able to start this company and help over 1,000 students from Nigeria and Ghana get to Canada with the valid study visa for no cost to them in terms of the admission counseling and the lawyer. And so we're really excited to talk about that all today. But to get started, I think Godwin might say a few words.
All right. So once again, welcome everyone to this webinar. It's a pleasure for us to have you all. We can't have this webinar if you're not here with us. And I also want to thank Carson as well as the CEO, Matthew, for coming together with us to make this a possibility. I know many of us have many questions, and that's the reason why we are here to answer your questions as regards Canada and the various processes. So how is I'm sure they're going to say a word or two about themselves, but let me just chip in if enough to. Actually, many companies out there who help students go abroad, there are certain services that they cannot offer. For example, what Help here has to offer is a free immigration lawyer. That is something very rare, almost impossible to find anywhere. And that is what really drew our attention to them. Plus, and actually, this free immigration lawyer is not going to just take care of your admission and all of that. Even when you're done and you want to get a post graduation work permit, wow, that's a whole lot. So, Help is going to say a whole lot more to us. So, everyone, please fasten your seatbelt because this plane is about to take off. All right, Carson, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Godwin. And I will introduce Matthew, our CEO and founder, who's going to talk through what Help is, how we work with students, and what you can get out of working with Help.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Godwin, thank you very much for inviting us to do this, and to all the attendees for joining us today. We're excited to talk a little bit about the opportunity that exists to study in Canada, what that means, what that looks like for you. Before we jump into that, I'm Matt, one of the co-founders of Halp and the CEO. We started this company to make it really easy for students or applicants like yourselves to get accepted, get a study visa, and land on campus safely and prepared to study abroad. Right? We want to make that more accessible for students all around the world, and we've been doing it for over 5 years and are having some success with that. So that's sort of the context and the backdrop of today. We have a unique perspective being based in Canada, but helping students from over 40 countries around the world, but a lot recently and from Nigeria, Ghana, other countries in Africa. So we know what it's like, what the questions are sort of going to be that come up for you as you transition through that journey. And so what we've done is put a presentation together that should hopefully answer some of those questions or demystify the process a little bit. And then after that, we will also stick around for some questions. So if anything pops up as we're going through the presentation, make sure to put it in the chat or write it down, and you can ask it at the end so that we can give you some answers live. Awesome. Let's jump in and start talking about studying abroad in Canada. So first, how does it work specifically when you're working with Halp? So probably if you're on this webinar, you're considering studying abroad. Maybe you have a school in mind, maybe you have a program level in mind, maybe you have a subject, but you might not know exactly where you want to go. You might not know how to do that. And so what we've done is built Halp to give you one-on-one support from students that are based in Canada, or from Expert Story that are based in Canada. And a lot of them were international students that have been through this process before. They've been to the schools, they understand what it takes. They've gotten a visa, they've gotten, postgrad work permits, PR, these types of things. And so the whole point of our platform is to give you one-on-one access to an expert over WhatsApp, video calls, 24/7 to help you gain admissions and reach your study abroad goals. it's really important that you seek out advice from people that understand. So a lot of the people that we compete with would be agents, and these are people that might be local to, your neighborhood or your community, and you will have a lot of questions about if you want to work in a certain job in Canada, what is the best path to do that through a specific program, study level, and if you want to try eventually to get PR, there are nuances to which province within Canada to apply for, or like there's just a lot of different advice you want. The coaches that we have at Halp are not on commission based on your placements. They're Halp salaried employees. All they care about is helping students. They are located in Canada and they understand better than anybody how this system works. And so you're actually talking to people that have been through it before, not somebody that has probably never even been here, right? And I think that that's an important thing to understand. Next, basically the whole point is end-to-end support, better access to results. So once we've worked together to figure out, okay, based on this job, this post-grad work permit, this PR outcome chances, whatever, you'll have a list of programs. Well, the point of working with the coach is that you're going to be able to work with them one-on-one for the entire process, getting accepted into the program. So that's where we will understand all the requirements of the program. You build the application on the platform, we submit it to the school, right? Next, you get an acceptance in usually 24 to 48 hours. It can take up to a week, but we're able to check in directly with the school and understand what's going on. Once you're accepted and you pay the tuition deposit, you start to work with you need to get a study permit, right? Like that's the next step, or a visa. So that's where we provide you an immigration lawyer for free, which normally would cost, 1,500 to 2,500 Canadian dollars, to work with you to build and submit your application to the IRCC. And then lastly, you move. And so the thing that's really important with this is that it's all done online. It's all done for free. You get access to the coach the entire time and the lawyer. And the actual results, like the rates, like our acceptance rates are about 98% into the school. And our visa approval rates are about 83% for Nigeria specifically, which is more than double what it is applying on your own or through like an immigration consultant or something like that. So it more than doubles your odds of acceptance because we do a lot of the hard work and we know what it takes. The other part is it's super easy for you. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go sit down somewhere. You're able to just join and do it all online. So when you sign up for Halp, which you'll get a link to do so after this, essentially you just go through the intake qualification forms. And if we think that, your profile matches what the government is looking for, and what the school that you're applying for is looking for, all of that happens online. So we make it really, really easy. You don't have to travel. Your coach can answer all the questions about all the specific things that the school wants, because some of them, even if it's, a master's of data science or, something in healthcare or science or something in education at the master's level, they might have different documents that they need you to submit in different formats, and you might have to package it up a certain way. So like we take care of all of that on the platform. So once, we have verified that your documents match the criteria of the school and government, it's a pretty simplified process from there where you're able to just kind of sit back and let us do the work on autopilot. So this is important as well, because we work directly with the schools and they trust the quality of the students that we work with and the applicants that we work with. Generally, you get access to programs where you can get an acceptance in 48 hours. So this is a really quick turnaround. So you can know once you submit the application, 2 days, 3 days, if you have a conditional acceptance offer. Oftentimes, because we work with the schools, there won't be an application fee, or it'll be reduced to like 50 to 100 Canadian dollars from double that, as well as some schools, which we'll talk about later in this presentation, offer scholarships specifically to help students. So if you apply and you come through us and you make it through our vetting process, there are sometimes $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 scholarships that you get without applying just because you worked with us. And the last thing is, if you're looking to get into something and it's approaching quickly, like, there are a few programs in Canada starting in October, we know the schools and they have last minute seats that are safe for us, and we can move through the process really quickly to get you here on the timeline that works for you. The next, oh yeah, sorry, Carson, I think you'll take it from here.
Definitely. So just on that note that Matt mentioned, these that we're about to talk through are just a few samples of programs that you can apply to through Halp. These are not all the programs. We have, hundreds of partners across Canada, across all sorts of major study levels, masters, undergrad, certificates, diplomas, you name it. The ones we're featuring today are more so focused on the ones that you're getting exclusive offers to. Just to kind of show you guys, these are the types of offers you're going to get through Halp. And these are the types of questions you can ask your coach. When you sign up, you can say, hey, I hear that you guys have a few exclusive offers. What are the ones going on right now? And they'll definitely be able to guide you that way. To quickly give you a few examples, first one, Niagara University. It's based just in the outskirts of Toronto, a great city to live in terms of job opportunities, community, and things like that. They have a few programs right now, and they're offering for those who apply to the January intake a $1,000 to $2,000 bursary. This is really, really big, right? It's huge savings from their tuition. And I think a few other things to highlight is all of these programs that I'm featuring on this slide are PGWP eligible, meaning you can actually study these programs for 1 year, and then you can get a 3-year work permit when you graduate. And so it's a great opportunity for students looking to get that work permit and to get some valuable job experience in Canada. If you graduate from one of these universities, it's quite easy to get that. I think the other piece here is that they've built these programs to be completely flexible for students who want to manage a job on the side. I know many of you have been working for a few years. You've graduated from your undergrad in Nigeria, and you're now looking to kind of upskill abroad and do a master's level type course. This is a really great university for that because you can actually do all of your classes on weeknights. You could do all of them on weekends. That way you can actually handle a full-time or part-time job in addition to the classes you're taking to help fund these studies. So yeah, they have their Master's of Science in Finance. I know it has a really good graduation rate if you want to work in the finance field for getting jobs. They also have their Master's of what we call cybersecurity for those of you who are interested, and then as well as their traditional MBA. In this next slide, these are a few other universities, and these are in different parts of Canada. So University of Canada West is based in the West Coast, Vancouver, BC, if you've ever heard of it. It's a very beautiful part of our country. And what's really interesting about this MBA program is they have co-op internships available. Co-ops are basically, you can actually get practical work experience while you're studying and earning this degree. So you can not only do this program for a year and a half, you're eligible for 3 years of work permit, but in that year or year and a half, you can actually be working an on-the-job business job that, is part of completing that degree. And so you actually get real life work experience. You get experiences added to your resume, and you also graduate with the ability to then apply for jobs and work in Canada in the Canadian job market. The other thing to mention is they have a lot of intakes, which means you have flexibility for when you can join. Matt mentioned there's an October one coming up. They also have an intake in January, April, and July. And so this is a really good option for those of you considering your MBA that want to do it on the West Coast of Canada and want to get a co-op and some work experience while you study. These other two, International Business University and University of Niagara Falls, these are also based in the GTA or Toronto surrounding area. So it's a great area to be getting jobs. And similar to the other ones I mentioned, they also offer 3 years of a postgraduate work permit and flexibility with the classes. An important call out about International Business University is you can do a monthly tuition payment plan, which means you can actually structure your payment of the $17,000 Canadian tuition on a monthly basis after you start class, which makes it a little bit easier for those of you who are saving up your money and trying to fund this degree abroad to be able to afford it. And just like the others, really good post-graduation employment rate, and you're eligible for those 3 years of the post-graduation work permit. This next one, Thompson Rivers University. It's based in the Alberta region, which is obviously not in Toronto, also not in Vancouver. So it shows the kind of breadth of the partners we work with. They have a few really cool programs. One of them is the Masters of Education. This is an awesome program, which also allows for flexible classes, which means you can have a part-time job or a full-time job on the side and do your classes online, at night, on the weekends, whatever works best for you and your schedule. And they also have this Masters of Science in Environmental Economics and Management. I think the reason we showed these two programs to you is these are the types of programs right now that are really mapping to the Canadian job market. The Canadian job market needs more people in education, and they need more people in environmental management. And so this is a great way to kind of separate yourself from other people by studying a program that actually matches the Canadian job market. And then last but not least, we have Algoma University. They're based a little bit outside of Toronto, still in Ontario, which is still close to a lot of the big cities, a lot of good jobs. Might have a slightly more affordable living cost by being there. And they have a few cool science masters in biology, They also have a master's in computer science. The point I want to mention here is these are just a few of the programs we offer. We have over 15,000 programs across our 200 university partners who are in every part of Canada. So no matter what city you want to go to, no matter what province you want to study, and no matter what type of program you want to study, whether that is a master's, an undergrad, a business, or healthcare, we have those programs and we can map you to the right ones that fit what your goal is, what your budget is, and what your whole reason for coming to Canada was. So we just wanted to highlight these quickly, and I'll pass that back off to Matt.
Awesome. Just before I do this, somebody mentioned in the Q&A that they were unable to see the screen share. Can everybody see it okay, or can you type in there if you're able to see it as an attendee? Just to make sure that it's not for everybody, but just maybe one person having a connection outage. Okay, seems like other people are able to see it, so I will keep going. So Carson just mentioned some great programs and schools that we're connected with, and we talked a little bit off the top about working with us and why and how it kind of goes. The next thing that's really important to know is that we will never charge you anything. So Halp is free to use, it's easy, it's online. First, you save money every step of the way. So we do not charge any upfront payments or hidden fees, or anything related to the coach's time. Once you become a verified member, which means we've reviewed your documents and you've done the intake call and we've sort of checked out what's going on and we believe you have a really good chance of being successful and that it's in your best interests, all of the coaching and immigration lawyer and soft landing services are free. Next, the dashboard we have. So once you log in, you'll be able to see like the programs you're applying for, where your application status is for all of them. So what's going on with your application at all times. And it's really easy to track that like right from your phone. And lastly, you can save time. So you don't have to really, especially in discovering and going through the different programs that are out there, the coaches will surface recommendations based on what you're looking for and what fits your budget, your distance from family that might already be in the country, the job outcome you're looking for, the type of program, the length of PGWP associated, all these different things, right? So you can save hours and hours of online research. We can just kind of like work with you to figure that out. And then also, the acceptance happens quicker and the visas happen quicker, right? So those are kind of some important pieces. And then obviously you don't have to go and meet with anybody in person. You're able to do a lot of it over Zoom and WhatsApp. So you can kind of do it from the comfort of your own home. This is an important comparison. So I just wanted to show you and try to make it clear the difference between, going through Halp to do this versus an agent on the ground or doing it on your own, right? So the most important things and factors in this are getting trusted advice with up-to-date information on the ground, the cost of that advice, the results and the acceptance rates of working with that company, and how much time it takes, right? And so what you can see is in terms of getting the best advice, we've already done all the work and keep up to date with the government in Canada and all the schools to be able to explain to you what is going on. And we do it all in your best interest. The only thing we care about is you being happy in a great program, getting an awesome job at the end of it, and hopefully staying in Canada and making our country a better place. Other options, it can be really difficult to get the right advice because the motivations might be monetary, or, if you're just doing research on the internet, I'm sure you found you can find, 3 conflicting viewpoints on like the same question, right, that you're asking about. And that's because even the university websites can be out of date at times. And so it can be really difficult to figure out what you're looking for. So we've done all that for you. Next is on cost. Obviously, if you do it yourself, it's free, except it costs probably a lot more of your time, which I know you're busy. A lot of you are working. You don't want to spend, hundreds of hours figuring out where to apply and doing that application. We can do that for you for free. And a lot of our competitors, although they will say they are free, there will be hidden fees, there'll be inflated fees, or there'll be a success fee or a deposit or something like this. None of that here. The next one is like the results. This is what actually matters. How likely are you to get accepted, get a visa, and get to Canada, right? That's really the only thing that's important to you, I believe. And so, there are other things, but achieving the goal is the main objective here. And so, our approval rates at the university and study permit level are the highest. So if you're accepted into our program as a verified member, you have the best odds at the lowest cost, which is free, of achieving your goal, right? Compared to other ways. And doing it yourself, there's a good chance you'll get accepted to the school, but the study permit is really difficult and cumbersome. And there are a lot of different dates and deadlines, and people just make honest mistakes on the application, or maybe they don't frame the study permit statement of purpose in the right way, or all these different things that cause headaches and annoyances. And it's like, if it's free, why not work with someone that's an expert, right? And the last thing is the time that this whole thing takes. If a student is ready with their documents and you agree to a program that you're interested in pretty quickly, this whole thing can take 2 to 4 weeks from sign up to visa approval. That's not true for other agents and doing it on your own. It takes a lot more hours of research and time. The approval processes are not as quick. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get great advice at no cost with the highest chance of getting the outcome you want in the least amount of time, Halp is probably an option that you should strongly consider. Here's a couple examples of students that have used Halp, and we have a lot of this. You can see on our social media, if you go and look, we have past students that you can talk to, or Google reviews, whatever, that we've helped. I think we have a few examples here, but the important thing is it works. We have helped thousands of students from African countries, but mostly, Nigeria and Ghana would be the majority of that volume, get to Canada. They're here in Canada now, they're studying, they're enjoying it, and they are set up, on the path that they really want. And we can do that for you as well. Here's another one, Precious. She's actually at Yorkville, which is in Toronto, not so far from where our office is right now. Yeah, great student, great program as well. And Sylvia, yeah, she was recent. So anyways, we wanted to just show a few different examples of real students that are here. Our Instagram has videos from them. I'm sure you can find them on social media and ask what it was like to work with Halp. But these are just a few of the students that, are similar. We're in a similar position to you, just 6 or 7 months ago, thinking can I study abroad? Should I study abroad? Or I really want to study abroad. What's the best way to get there and get to Canada? And they worked with us and had success. Cool. Well, thank you. And now I think, Carson, you'll talk about how to actually get started and get going.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. And thank you for that description. I hope everybody who is on this webinar now understands kind of the value you get by working with Halp, our coaches, our lawyers. And so I'm sure the next question you're all asking is, okay, well, this is great. How do I get started? And I'm going to talk you through really quickly how you can actually sign up today on this webinar using Godwin's VIP link, which came through our partnership. And what a VIP link means is by using this specific link and signing up today, our coaches are prepared for you. They know you've been on this webinar. They're ready to work with you. But more importantly, by using this link to sign up, we're actually going to know that your profile is linked to Doctor's Lounge and Godwin, which will give you priority treatment in the Halp funnel from the Halp team, which is a really awesome perk by attending this. So thank you again for all of you in attendance, and we'll get started on that. So first steps first, you need to use his VIP link. I'm about to send this in the chat to everyone. You should be able to click on this link that I just sent in the chat, and that should bring you to our sign up page. Be sure to use a valid WhatsApp number when you are doing this. That's how we contact you. That's how our coaches are going to call you and reach out to you to verify your information is correct. So please use a valid WhatsApp, and please sign up using the link I included in this chat. If you are here on behalf of someone, or you know a friend who would also like to consider studying in Canada and is serious and ready to apply, we also recommend you share this link with them, but make sure they use this link, because this is the link that's attached to Doctor's Lounge, our partner, and this will get you priority treatment. And our coaches are literally on the other side right now waiting for you all to sign up so they can meet you and get started with your profile. After you sign up, there's going to be a quick step, which is you need to have your documents ready. Obviously, we're free. We spend a lot of money and time on our students, so we want to make sure the students that we're working with are actually ready to apply. There are 2 documents that you will all need to get verified and matched with the Halp coach. That is a valid passport that is not expired, and that is your high school or your bachelor's transcripts. Whatever your most recent study was, we need those official transcripts as well. So that's important to know, because without these documents, you will not be able to get started with a Halp coach. That said, you are more than welcome to sign up right now, create your account, use a valid WhatsApp number during the sign up, and let the Halp team know that you're going to upload these documents later. One kind of quick tip that we don't tell everybody is if you actually self-upload your own documents after you sign up, you can skip the line and immediately get paired with a Halp coach. The fact that you're signing up through Godwin and Doctor's Lounge VIP link is probably good enough for now. But if you really want to get the fastest responses, I recommend you not only sign up through Godwin's link, but you upload your valid passport and your transcripts as soon as you log in. That way we have the documents we need from your side to start matching you with a Halp coach and start recommending you programs based on your budget, your goal, and what you're trying to do by studying in Canada. And then the last piece here is just the fact that we are free. We only save our coaching spots for serious students who are ready to move fast and are ready to apply as soon as we are. What this means is we're not looking for students right now who are considering coming to Canada but need to figure out their financial situation, aren't really sure what they want to study, and may or may not apply in the next 3 or 4 months. We like to save our coaches time and their spots for serious students who are ready to apply as soon as we get them the right program that they're excited about and they think will help them reach their goal. So to be considered ready to apply, there are 2 things that you need to keep in mind. First is you need to be financially ready. The Canadian government requires at this point about $40,000 Canadian in your proof of funds during the visa application. What this means is if you are not able to, through your sponsor, through your own funds, through a loan, show the Canadian government that you have $40,000 Canadian in your bank account, it'll be very, very difficult to begin your study visa application. And as you all know, if you can't get your study visa, your acceptance to the program won't matter. And so this is what we really care about is we want to make sure you have a plan. You've talked to your sponsor. You have a budget figured out. You have means to access these funds to show the Canadian government. That way, when we get you accepted to a top program that you want to attend, we can actually get you a visa for that through our lawyers. So that's the first thing. And the reason it's this high now is that the living costs in Canada have gone up a bit. The Canadian government requires about $20,000 Canadian in living expenses alone to show that you can live here for a full year of your studies. And then tuition ranges between $15,000 to $20,000 on average. And you also need to show about $1,000 for an airline ticket. So keep this in mind. Please have a plan. Think about your budget. Talk to your sponsors. Look over your funds. Figure out your budget before you sign up, because we're going to ask you about this and we're going to verify it all. So we need you to be ready to talk about this. That's a really important part about starting your study abroad application. And then the second piece is that you're ready to submit. This is really more about your intent. Are you serious about studying in Canada? Do you want to come here for the January intake? So that's in 6 months or so. And are you ready to apply? Have you already thought through what you want to study? Why? Or do you have an idea of why you want to come to Canada? You want to get a work permit. You want to eventually apply for permanent residency. Whatever the case may be, we just want you to have this thought out. We want you to be serious and ready to move fast. So that way we can save our free services, our free coaches, and our free lawyers for the students who really want to come here and are ready to apply soon. So with that being said, I know we've talked about a lot today, and thank you so much for all of your time. I know there's been a lot of information, and this is when we're going to open up the floor to any questions. In the chat, I'm going to unshare my screen now so I can see everything, okay? But you should be able to, post a question, raise your hand, and in the bottom, there should be a little Q&A where you can write any questions, and I will see them, and I can answer those whenever you are ready. So take a minute or two, and please send any questions you might have. I see Oganero and Aneni have their hands up. If you could please chat and look in the bottom bar, you should see a Q&A or a chat. And if you can send me your question there, I'll be able to answer it. I'm also going to reshare the sign up link, the VIP one that gets you service. So that way everybody has the right link and you can share that with your friends or family who need it. Any questions? Still no questions yet. Okay, great. We just got one question from Emanuela. Thank you so much, Emanuela. If I am not financially capable, what are the scholarship opportunities do I have to get up to $40,000 Canadian? So this is a really good question. The hard answer is it's really difficult in Canada, at least right now, to be getting these like really big scholarships, above $3,000, $4,000. I think part of the reason for that is it's very competitive. You have over 1 million people applying for a study visa each year. And so it's quite challenging. And so the hard answer for you is going to be if you need, over $20,000 in scholarships, Halp won't be the platform for you. Eventually, in 2 or 3 years, we really want to be able to offer these scholarships ourselves and help with financing. But right now, it's pretty difficult to provide free counseling, free lawyers. It costs us a lot of money. And so for now, we unfortunately can't help you with amounts of that much. That said, if it's about closing the gap with $2,000 scholarship, $3,000, that's where our exclusive partnerships with these universities come in, and we'd definitely be able to help. So thank you for the question, Emanuela. I would say if you're relying on, above $20,000 in scholarships to get here, you're probably best to save up, talk to a sponsor, see if you can get a low interest loan or something like that, because Halp would not be the best solution for you. A great second question here from an anonymous attendee. So yeah, feel free. It does not need to include your name. I also don't need to mention them. What kind of programs can we doctors take? So this is a really good question. And I'll give my best shot at it unless, Matt, you had something to add after. But what I would say for doctors is our highest level of study that we help with admissions for would be a master's level program. And so what that would mean is there are many healthcare oriented master's level programs, such as, nursing, medical lab technician, things along this nature that we know the Canadian Immigration Office and job market needs. And so what I would say is there are definitely internationally registered doctor programs you can take. But as far as you're concerned, the best Halp could help you with would be getting into a good master's program that maps to the healthcare industry here. And these are pretty easy to get a visa for in the sense that the Canadian government really needs more healthcare workers. And so if you are someone with a medical background who's practiced as a doctor, we can definitely help you find a really good master's program that will let you then apply for a 3-year work permit and hopefully, transition your credentials over to the Canadian market and help you start some sort of practice or some sort of ancillary service in that field. I see Aneni and Oganero still have their hands raised. Feel free, use the bottom bar. You can send in any questions via chat, and I will try my best to answer them. So we had another question about documents that just came in, how the passport age doesn't match their school certificate, hoping it won't affect much. So this is definitely something we can work with. I think as long as your passport is valid and your school certificate that has your transcripts has been certified by the school you're at, this is something you can mention, over chat on WhatsApp to your Halp coach or your Halp agent, and they will help you solve this. But as long as you are aware of this, you upload both documents and you let this know to our team, we will work with this as best we can. So don't let that deter you from signing up. Just be sure to mention this and when you upload your documents. Okay, great. We're getting a lot of good ones. So is proof of English language proficiency required for Nigerians applying for a diploma or bachelor program? So generally, no. Nigerian students do not require an English proficiency test. I understand there are some schools, so high schools or bachelor programs in Nigeria where English is not one of the official languages. And so if you come from one of those specific schools, there's always a possibility we will need to get your English language proficiency. But long story short, I would assume, nope, you're okay. We just need your transcripts and your passport. And if this is something we need, your coach will let you know really quickly. So yeah, and for diploma, bachelor, masters, it wouldn't really matter what study level. You either need an English proficiency test to study in Canada or you don't. And generally, Nigerian students do not. Thank you, Aneni. Great question. I am a medical laboratory scientist. What program can I pursue? And if I can't afford the tuition fee, can I apply through a loan company? Thanks. So first of all, I would say there are many programs in Canada and there are many universities in Canada who are specifically recruiting for students with your skill set. That's a really good program to be in. What I would say regarding affording the tuition fee is your best bet is you can find a loan and you can do that through your Nigerian. Sorry, 1 second, just gonna mute. So that's definitely something you can do. But what I would tell you is the same answer I gave earlier is Halp unfortunately can't help you find that loan right away, especially to Canada. We have a partner who I'm sure many of you heard of called Empower, who helps us for US-based admissions, but we've really started to focus more on Canada. And so what I would say is you can apply with us, but you're going to need to figure out that loan on your own, because as of right now, we spend a lot of money giving the free lawyers, giving the free coaches that we aren't able to also, begin providing loans. But that's our vision one day. And I know that's one of Matt's biggest goals is we can actually help with that soon. But yeah, unfortunately, if you're looking to apply in January, we wouldn't be able to help you with that loan, but we encourage you to find that on your own and then come to us once it's figured out. I'm just checking to see if I missed any other questions. You can, for anybody who hasn't seen yet, you can drop your question in the bottom bar and I'll answer it as best I can. I can give another minute or so for anybody who's typing it. But again, thank you all so much for your time. This has been awesome. And I know our coaches are on the other end, just really excited for you to sign up, to start to get to know you, figure out what your goals are and help you get here. So we're excited for that. Yes, we have another question about financial assistance. Can Halp help with their student to apply for student assistance or raise some money for tuition? So what I would say to this is our coaches can definitely help you and they can point you in the right direction. We tend to know, the banks in Nigeria that have a good enough reputation where you can use that as a proof of statement. There's things along those lines. So you're definitely welcome to ask, but I don't want to make any broad promises that, Halp is your financial aid program. Right now, Halp is a free admission service to get you into Canada and get you a study visa for free. So no fees, no lawyer fees, nothing. So that's what we're focused on right now. And we're not being leaned on as a financial aid company. Again, our goal in the future is to become that, and we can get you scholarships. We can waive your application fees. We can save you money on the lawyer to make sure you get a study visa for free. And so we can definitely save you a lot of money, over a couple $1,000s, but we aren't able to bridge that gap if you can't afford tuition and give you a loan, but we can definitely try to point you in the right direction. So what I would say is if you're close to being able to afford the $40,000 or you have a plan and a vision for how you're going to do that, please tell our coaches about that and they will try to help you as best they can. But please don't sign up for Halp expecting Halp to be the one to get you the $40,000 because that's not our specialty right now. We help students who are set, who have their budget confirmed, who are ready to apply, get here for free. Yeah, great question. Can someone in Dubai apply using this link for an undergraduate course with this O-level certificate? So I'm not too familiar with the O-level certificate in Dubai, but we have many students from Dubai who have used our platform. And so as Matt mentioned, we've had over 40 different students from over 40 different countries use Halp to get accepted with a visa. And Dubai is one of those countries. So if you're not from Nigeria, but you're on this webinar, we welcome you. We hope you sign up and use our services. As long as you use Godwin and Doctor's Lounge VIP link, you should have no problem. And that question in regards to, studying an undergraduate course with your O-level certificate, that's the perfect question to ask your Halp coach. They're experts in this. They know the different prerequisites for different programs. And so this is something you can work out with them and they'll be happy to answer you. Great. I'll give 10 more seconds to see if any last minute questions come in, but I think that should be it for now. All right, that is all. Well, like we kind of began with, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Matthew, thank you again for your time. It was awesome to hear from you and, be able to connect you with the students who are hopefully going to be signing up for this platform soon. And Godwin, as always, it's great working with you. And thank you so much for the introduction. I'm not sure if you had any closing words, but I'll pass it off to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Carson. And thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar. It's really been an amazing one. I'm sure you've learned a lot of things. This video is going to be made available online, all right, so that specifically on our YouTube channel, okay, at Doctor's Lounge Official, right? So we're going to make that available for you so that you can watch this video again. So thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much, Carson, and thank you everyone who has attended. So yeah, over to you, Carson.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on the other side. Our coaches are ready to work with you and we'll be in touch. We'll definitely send you everyone a follow-up email for those who couldn't make it so that they can find this VIP link as well. But for those of you who are on here, I encourage you sign up, use a valid WhatsApp, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.